The clinic's fluorescent lights buzzed like a swarm of angry bees, and Lily's heart pounded so hard she thought it might burst through her chest. The doctor's words echoed in her mind, each syllable a hammer strike. HIV positive. At 28, Lily Monroe sat frozen, her hands trembling as she clutched the test results, the paper crumpling under her grip. She had come to the small Seattle clinic alone, expecting a routine checkup, maybe a lecture about stress or diet. Instead, she was handed a life-altering truth. Her thoughts spiraled who? She hadn't been with anyone but Emma in years. Emma, her girlfriend of 3 years, the woman who made her laugh until her sides ached, who kissed her forehead every night before bed. The woman who was supposed to meet her here but had texted at the last minute. Stuck at work, babe. Call me after? Lily's stomach churned. Where was Emma now? Outside, the autumn air bit at her cheeks as she stumbled to her car. Seattle's gray skyline loomed, indifferent to her unraveling world. She dialed Emma's number, her fingers shaking. Voicemail. Again. Her mind raced to the worst possibilities, but she shoved them down. Emma loved her. They had built a life together, late-night talks, shared playlists, a tiny apartment filled with plants they both forgot to water. This had to be a mistake. She'd go home, wait for Emma, and they'd face this together. But Emma wasn't at their apartment when Lily arrived. The space felt too quiet, the absence of Emma's usual humming or the clatter of her cooking filling the air with dread. Lily sank onto the couch, staring at her phone. No texts, no calls. She opened their shared calendar, a habit from their early days to keep their chaotic lives aligned. Emma had marked work late for today, but something felt off. Lily's gut twisted as she remembered Emma's recent late nights, her vague excuses, the way her eyes darted away when Lily asked about her day. She tried to focus, to breathe. The HIV diagnosis was a storm cloud, but Emma's absence was a lightning strike. Lily scrolled through her phone, landing on a photo of them from last summer, Emma's arms wrapped around her at a music festival, both of them laughing under a sky bursting with stars. The memory stung. Where was that Emma now? Desperate for answers, Lily called Emma's best friend, Sarah, who worked at the same marketing firm. Hey Sarah, is Emma still at the office? Her voice cracked, betraying her calm facade. Sarah hesitated, a pause that lasted too long. No, she left around noon. Said she had a personal thing. Why, what's up? Lily's heart sank. A personal thing? She hung up before Sarah could answer, her mind racing. Emma wasn't at work. She wasn't home. Where was she? The question gnawed at her, pulling her toward a truth she wasn't ready to face. She grabbed her keys and headed out, her destination unclear but her need for answers burning. She drove through Seattle's rain-slicked streets, the city blurring past her. Her thoughts kept circling back to Emma's ex, Rachel, a charismatic artist who had always lingered in the background of their relationship like a ghost. Rachel, who Emma swore was just a friend now. Rachel, who lived across town in a loft that Emma still visited to catch up. Lily's hands tightened on the steering wheel as she pulled up to Rachel's building, a converted warehouse in Capitol Hill. The lights in Rachel's loft glowed through the large windows, and Lily's breath caught as she saw two silhouettes inside. One was unmistakably Emma, her short, tousled hair, her confident stance. The other was Rachel, leaning close, too close. Lily parked, her heart hammering. She didn't want to believe it, but the pieces were falling into place. Emma wasn't just hiding from work. She was hiding something bigger, something that could shatter everything they had built. As Lily stepped out into the rain, her diagnosis burning in her pocket, she felt the weight of betrayal pressing down on her. She wasn't just fighting for her health now, she was fighting for the truth. Inside the loft, Emma sat across from Rachel, her ex's voice low and urgent. You can't keep this from her, Em, Rachel said, her paint-splattered hands gesturing wildly. She deserves to know. Emma's green eyes were stormy, her jaw tight. I know. But how do I tell her? How do I say I messed up, that I might have? Her voice broke, and she buried her face in her hands. Rachel reached out, her touch gentle but heavy with history. Outside, Lily stood frozen, rain soaking through her sweater. She couldn't hear their words, but she saw the intimacy, the way Rachel's hand lingered on Emma's arm. Her world tilted. The woman she loved was here with her ex, while Lily faced the scariest moment of her life alone. She wanted to scream, to storm inside, but her legs wouldn't move. Instead, she turned back to her car, tears mixing with the rain. Back at their apartment, Lily sat in the dark, the test results on the coffee table like a ticking bomb. She didn't know how she'd contracted HIV, but the possibility that Emma was involved through infidelity, secrecy, or something worse cut deeper than the diagnosis itself. She loved Emma, but love wasn't enough if trust was broken. As the clock ticked past midnight, Lily made a decision. She wouldn't confront Emma tonight. She'd wait, gather her strength and demand the truth. But first she needed to understand her own future. The next morning Lily returned to the clinic, her eyes red but determined. The doctor, a kind woman with graying hair, explained her options: medication, support groups, a life still worth living. "You're not alone in this," the doctor said, her voice steady. "But you need to talk to your partner. If there's a chance she's at risk, she needs to know." Lily nodded, her throat tight. She wanted to believe Emma was still the woman she fell in love with, the one who danced with her in their kitchen to old jazz records. But the image of Emma with Rachel haunted her. She left the clinic with a prescription and a resolve to face whatever came next, even if it meant losing the love she thought would last forever. As she drove home, her phone buzzed. A text from Emma. "Hey, I'm sorry about yesterday. Can we talk tonight? I love you." Lily stared at the words, her heart caught between hope and rage. She didn't reply. Instead, she pulled over, staring out at the Puget Sound, its waves crashing against the shore. She was fighting for her life now, and she wouldn't let secrets destroy her. Emma paced the loft, her boots scuffing against Rachel's hardwood floor. The air smelled of turpentine and regret, a reminder of the life she'd left behind when she chose Lily. Rachel sat cross-legged on a worn couch, her dark eyes searching Emma's face. "You're spiraling," Rachel said softly. "You need to go home and tell her." Emma stopped, her hands clenching. "I can't. Not yet. She's already going through so much: her job, her stress. If I tell her about us, it'll break her." Her voice cracked on the last word, and she sank onto the couch, her head in her hands. Rachel sighed, leaning forward. "Emma, you didn't mean for this to happen. It was one night, one mistake. But keeping it from her is worse. And if she's sick..." Rachel's voice trailed off, heavy with guilt. She had been the one to pull Emma back into her orbit, a drunken night 2 months ago that neither had spoken of since. Emma had sworn it was a lapse, that she loved Lily, that it would never happen again. But the weight of that night hung between them now, a secret that could destroy lives. Emma's phone buzzed again, Lily's name flashing on the screen. She stared at it, her heart racing. "She's called 3 times, she whispered. "What if she knows?" "Then you owe her the truth," Rachel said, her voice firm but not unkind. "You can't hide here forever." Emma nodded, but her feet felt glued to the floor. She thought of Lily's warm brown eyes, the way they crinkled when she smiled. She thought of their first date, a rainy hike where Lily slipped and Emma caught her, both of them laughing until they couldn't breathe. She couldn't lose that. But she might have already. Across town, Lily sat at a cafe, nursing a coffee she hadn't touched. She'd spent the morning researching HIV, her laptop screen filled with tabs about treatment, life expectancy, and transmission. The statistics were overwhelming, but the personal stories gave her hope: people living full lives, loving, thriving. She wanted that. She wanted it with Emma, but doubt gnawed at her. Emma's absence last night, her secrecy, the silhouette of her with Rachel, it all pointed to something Lily wasn't ready to name. She opened her phone, staring at Emma's text. "I love you." The words felt like a lifeline and a lie all at once. She typed a reply: "Meet me at home. 7 p.m. We need to talk." And hit send before she could overthink it. Her hands shook as she set the phone down. Tonight she'd get answers, no matter how much they hurt. At 6:55, Emma walked into their apartment, her leather jacket damp from the drizzle. Lily sat on the couch, her posture rigid, the test results folded neatly beside her. The air was thick with tension, the kind that made every sound, the tick of the clock, the hum of the fridge, feel like a warning. "Hey," Emma said, her voice soft but strained. She dropped her keys on the counter, avoiding Lily's gaze. "I'm sorry about yesterday. Work was crazy and..." "Stop," Lily said, her voice cutting through the room like a blade. Emma froze, her green eyes finally meeting Lily's. "You weren't at work. Called Sarah. Where were you?" Emma's face paled. her mouth opening and closing as if searching for an excuse. Lily's heart sank further. She stood, holding up the test results. I went to the clinic yesterday. I'm HIV positive, Emma. And you weren't there. You were with Rachel. Emma's eyes widened, her breath catching. Lily HIV? How? She took a step forward, but Lily held up a hand, stopping her. Don't, Lily said, her voice trembling but firm. I need to know the truth. Have you been with someone else? Is that how this happened? Emma's silence was louder than any confession. She sank onto a chair, her hands covering her face. I didn't mean for any of this, she whispered. It was one night, Lily. One stupid night with Rachel. I was drunk and Lily felt the room spin. The woman she loved, the woman she trusted, had betrayed her. When? She asked, her voice barely audible. 2 months ago, Emma said, her voice breaking. I didn't know. I didn't think it would lead to this. I got tested after and I'm negative, I swear. I didn't know you were. Stop, Lily said again, tears streaming down her face. You cheated. You lied. And now I'm sitting here with a diagnosis that changes everything, and you didn't even have the decency to be there. Emma stood, reaching for her, but Lily backed away. I love you, Emma said, her voice desperate. I messed up, but I love you. We can figure this out together. Lily shook her head, her heart breaking. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. She grabbed her coat and walked out, leaving Emma standing in the wreckage of their life. Outside, the rain had stopped, but the air felt heavy. Lily walked aimlessly, her mind a storm of anger, fear, and grief. She didn't know how she'd contracted HIV. Maybe it wasn't Emma. Maybe it was from years ago, a past she thought was behind her. But Emma's betrayal was a fresh wound, one that hurt more than the diagnosis itself. She ended up at a park, the same one where she and Emma had shared their first kiss. She sat on a bench staring at the lake, its surface calm despite the chaos in her heart. She didn't know what came next, but she knew one thing. She was stronger than this moment. She had to be. Lily spent the night at a hotel, the sterile room a stark contrast to the warmth of their apartment. She didn't sleep. Her phone buzzed with texts from Emma, apologies, please, promises, but Lily couldn't bring herself to respond. The betrayal cut too deep, and the uncertainty of her diagnosis loomed like a shadow. She needed space to think, to breathe, to figure out who she was now. By morning, she called her sister Claire, who lived in Portland. Claire's voice was a lifeline, steady and warm. Come stay with me, she said. You don't have to go through this alone. Lily packed a bag and drove south, the 3-hour trip a blur of tears and highway signs. She didn't tell Emma where she was going. Let her worry, she thought bitterly. In Portland, Claire's small house was a haven of soft blankets and the smell of fresh coffee. Claire, 32 and fiercely protective, listened as Lily poured out everything: the diagnosis, Emma's infidelity, the shattering of her trust. I don't know how to move forward, Lily admitted, her voice raw. I love her, but I hate her too. Claire hugged her tightly. You don't have to decide anything right now. Just focus on you. You're stronger than you think. Lily spent the next few days in Portland, meeting with a new doctor who specialized in HIV care. The appointments were overwhelming: blood tests, medication schedules, discussions about viral loads and CD4 counts. But the doctor's calm demeanor gave her hope. With treatment, you can live a long, healthy life, he said. This isn't the end. Between appointments, Lily walked Portland streets, the city's vibrant murals and quirky cafes a distraction from her pain. She thought about Emma constantly, replaying their happiest moments and the sting of her betrayal. She wanted to hate her, but love was stubborn, clinging to her heart like damp leaves to the ground. Back in Seattle, Emma was unraveling. She hadn't slept either, her guilt a heavy chain around her neck. She called Lily repeatedly, leaving voicemails that went unanswered. I'm so sorry. I love you. Please come home. She went to Rachel's loft again, not for comfort but for clarity. I ruined everything, she told Rachel, her voice hollow. She's gone, and I don't know if she's coming back. Rachel, who had her own regrets, sat her down. You need to give her space, Em. And you need to figure out why you did this. Not just to her but to yourself. Emma nodded, tears falling. She'd always prided herself on her confidence, her ability to navigate life's chaos. But this hurting Lily, Risking their future was a mistake she couldn't undo. She went home, staring at the apartment's empty spaces, the plants Lily loved now wilting from neglect. She vowed to make things right, even if it meant facing the worst parts of herself. Meanwhile, Lily joined a support group in Portland, a small circle of people living with HIV. Their stories were different. Some had known for years. Others were newly diagnosed, but their strength was universal. A woman named Maya, 40, with a warm smile and a no-nonsense attitude, became Lily's anchor. "You're not your diagnosis," Maya said during a meeting. "You're still you, your dreams, your heart, all of it." Lily clung to those words. She started journaling, pouring her fears and hopes onto the page. She wrote about Emma, about the love they'd built and the trust that had crumbled. She wrote about her future, uncertain but not hopeless. Slowly, she began to see herself not as a victim, but as a survivor. One evening, Claire convinced her to go to a local art gallery, a distraction from her spiraling thoughts. The gallery was filled with bold, colorful paintings, and Lily felt a spark of joy for the first time in days. She lingered in front of a paisea, swirling abstract of blues and golds, like a stormy sea meeting the sun. It reminded her of her own heart, caught between chaos and hope. As she stood there, her phone buzzed. Another text from Emma. "I'm going to therapy. I want to be better for you, for us. Please let me know you're okay." Lily stared at the message, her thumb hovering over the reply button. She wasn't ready to forgive, but the message stirred something in her, a flicker of the love that still lingered. She didn't respond, but she didn't delete the message either. Instead, she turned back to the painting, letting its colors wash over her. She wasn't ready to go home, but she was ready to start healing. Lily stayed in Portland for 2 weeks, finding a fragile balance between grief and growth. Her days were filled with doctor visits, support group meetings, and long talks with Claire. She started her medication, a daily pill that felt like a small act of defiance against her diagnosis. Each morning she stood in front of the mirror, swallowing the pill and whispering to herself, "You've got this." It wasn't easy, but it was a start. Her thoughts often drifted to Emma. She missed her, the way Emma's laugh filled a room, the way her hand felt in hers. But she couldn't ignore the betrayal. Emma's night with Rachel wasn't just a mistake. It was a fracture in the foundation of their relationship. Lily wasn't sure if it could be rebuilt, but she wasn't ready to let go either. One evening, Maya invited her to a poetry reading at a cozy bookstore. The event was intimate, a handful of people sharing stories of love, loss, and resilience. Lily listened, her heart swelling with each word. When it was her turn to share, she hesitated, then read a poem she'd written in her journal. "In the quiet of my bones I carry storms, love that burns and breaks, but I am more than my wounds, more than the truths we hide." The room was silent, then erupted in soft applause. Maya squeezed her hand, whispering, "You're finding your voice." For the first time, Lily felt like she was reclaiming a piece of herself. Back in Seattle, Emma was trying to rebuild too. She started therapy, sitting across from a counselor named Dr. Nguyen, whose calm presence forced Emma to face her guilt head-on. "Why did you cheat, dear?" Nguyen asked, her tone gentle but direct. Emma struggled to answer. "I don't know. Rachel was familiar, safe in a way Lily wasn't that night. We were fighting and I was scared and I just ran." She hated how weak it sounded, but it was the truth. She'd been afraid of commitment, of losing herself in love, of not being enough for Lily. Dr. Nguyen leaned forward. "You can't change the past, but you can change how you move forward. If you want Lily back, you need to show her, not just tell her." Emma took the words to heart. She started small, watering the plants in their apartment, cooking Lily's favorite meals even though no one was there to eat them. She wrote letters to Lily, not sending them but keeping them in a notebook, each one an apology, a promise, a piece of her heart. One day, she went to the clinic where Lily had been tested, asking about HIV, about how to support a partner living with it. The nurse was kind, giving her pamphlets and resources, emphasizing communication and honesty. Emma felt a flicker of hope but also fear. What if Lily didn't want her anymore? In Portland, Lily was grappling with the same question. Claire urged her to talk to Emma, to at least hear her out. "You don't have to forgive her," Claire said. "But you deserve closure, one way or another." Lily agreed, but she wasn't ready for a face-to-face. Instead, she called Emma, her heart pounding as the phone rang. When Emma answered, her voice was soft, almost broken. "Lily? Oh my God, are you okay?" "I'm in Portland," Lily said, her tone steady. "I needed space. I'm not ready to come home, but I need to know. Why did you do it?" Emma's breath hitched. "I was scared, Lily. Of us, of how much I love you, of messing it up. Rachel was a mistake, a moment of weakness. I've been going to therapy trying to understand why I hurt you." "I'm so sorry." Lily listened, her heart aching. "I'm HIV positive, Emma. And I don't know if it's from you or not. But the lying, the cheating, that's what hurts the most." "I know," Emma said, tears in her voice. "I'll do anything to make this right. I'll wait as long as it takes." Lily hung up, her emotions a tangle of love and pain. She wasn't ready to forgive, but she felt a small shift, a crack in the wall she'd built around her heart. That night she wrote in her journal, "I want to believe in us again. But trust is a fragile thing and I need to trust myself first." She closed the notebook, staring out at Portland's starry sky, feeling the weight of her choices. She wasn't ready to go home, but she was ready to start building a life that was hers, diagnosis and all. 3 months later, Lily returned to Seattle. She'd found a rhythm in Portland: medication, therapy, a support group that felt like family, but she knew she couldn't stay away forever. Her apartment, her life with Emma, was still a question mark, but she was ready to face it. She arrived on a crisp winter morning, the city sparkling under a rare clear sky. Emma had texted her sparingly, respecting her need for space but always ending with "I love you." Lily hadn't responded, but she'd kept every message, a quiet reminder of what they'd had and what they might still have. When she walked into the apartment, she found it transformed. The plants were thriving, the air smelled of fresh bread, and a stack of letters sat on the coffee table, addressed to her in Emma's messy handwriting. Emma stood in the kitchen, her eyes wide with hope and fear. "You're back," she whispered. Lily nodded, setting her bag down. "I'm not staying yet. I just needed to see you." They sat on the couch, the letters between them like a bridge. Emma spoke first, her voice steady but vulnerable. "I've been working on myself. Therapy, reading, learning about HIV. I know I broke your trust and I can't undo that. But I want to be here, however you need me." Lily opened one of the letters, her hands trembling. It was pages long, filled with Emma's regrets, her love, her promises to do better. Each word was raw, honest, a piece of Emma's soul laid bare. Lily's eyes filled with tears. "I'm still hurt," she said. "But I miss you. I miss us." Emma reached for her hand, pausing when Lily flinched. "I'm negative," Emma said softly. "I've been tested regularly. I don't know how you got HIV, but I swear it wasn't me. I'll get tested again as many times as you need." Lily nodded, her heart heavy but open. "I believe you. But this isn't just about the diagnosis. It's about trust. I need time." Emma agreed, her eyes shining with tears. "I'll wait. I'll show you every day that I'm here." Over the next few weeks, they navigated a fragile new normal. Lily stayed at the apartment some nights, others with friends, giving herself space to heal. They went to therapy together, a safe space to unpack their pain and rebuild their connection. Emma was patient, showing up with small gestures, cooking Lily's favorite meals, leaving notes with quotes from her favorite books, listening without pushing. Lily's health stabilized, her viral load undetectable thanks to her medication. She joined a local HIV advocacy group, channeling her experience into helping others. She found strength in her story, in the community that embraced her. And slowly she found her way back to Emma. One evening they walked to their park, the place where they'd first kissed. The lake shimmered under the moonlight, and Lily took Emma's hand, her touch tentative but warm. "I don't know if we'll ever be the same," she said. "But I want to try. I want us to be honest, to be better." Emma nodded, tears falling. "I want that too. I love you, Lily. I always will." They stood there, hand in hand, the weight of their past and the hope of their future balanced between them. Lily's diagnosis was part of her now, but so was her resilience, her capacity to love despite pain. And Emma, flawed but trying, was part of that too. As they walked home, Lily felt a quiet peace. Life wasn't perfect, it never would be. But it was hers and she was ready to live it with Emma by her side, one honest step at a time. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.